Hey, we're live. Hey, everybody. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. And this is our Hump Day Hangouts for August 16th, 2017. And we've got Chris and Hernan and Marco on. Adam's not going to be here today because he's taking care of some stuff, personal stuff that he's got to do. So I'm going to go right on down the line and say what's up to everybody. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Doing good. Good to be here.
Good, good. And Hernan, how about you?
Hey, guys. Hey, everyone. It's good. Excited to be here, enjoying the warm weather in Florida. So it's good. It's good, man. It's good to be here.
That's right. You're in the States now, aren't you?
I am for the next couple of weeks, several weeks actually, and excited to get to the meeting with you guys and whatnot. So yeah.
Very cool. Oh, and Roman's coming too, and so we got one other now. Marco, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm in the lab, dude. I'm trying to get everything together for the 28th.
Why? What are we doing on the 28th?
I don't know, man. Some shit about RYS Reloaded, I think. Somebody's coming out with an even better and more powerful version of the original RYS, which is still killing it. We have tons of testimonials saying how well it's working. It's not that it stopped working. We just try to make it just simpler, easier, better, and more powerful. How's that?
So what are some? But well, I'll get back to you in just a second. Let's say hi to Roman real quick. Hey, Roman, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? Pretty good, man. I had to do I did a mastermind webinar on a topic last night, and it made me realize I probably should do a course on it. We'll talk about that one a little later.
Okay.
Has to do with PBN domain acquisition.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's a specialty of mine.
We would love to, especially assign you or schedule you for a mastermind webinar for that. That would be awesome.
All right.
So Marco, just real quick, what are some of the things, just kind of like to let people know, that are going to be included in the RYS Reloaded updated product?
Well, it's been around now. We had an anniversary. We had the 2-year anniversary of RYS Academy on August 13th. So it's just a few days ago that we launched it. And during all that time, we've had a Facebook group that we've been supporting. They have access to me. They can ask me questions. Dr. Gary jumps in there. A few of you guys jump in there and answer questions. And then the people in there have also become really adept at the process, at using all of the things in conjunction with one another. But we get suggestions. We got suggestions like the training. We'd like it more like Bradley's training. Make it simpler. Make it so that we can just go in there and do everything. And so we did that. We listened and we made the training simpler. We didn't do away with the old videos. Those are getting archived. And what's been deprecated or whatever, we'll have a tag that this is no longer work or whatever. Now go see this video or that video. We also listen to people enjoy webinars. People enjoy learning more. How do we use it better? How what else can we do? And so from all of these ideas, we've set up, I don't know, a series of at least 12. It'll be every 2 weeks, 12 webinars.
Was it 6 webinars for the 12 weeks?
It's 12 webinars.
Holy shit!
Actually,
24 weeks of webinars.
Yeah, and we have at least a couple more ideas that we want to give people. So that's being added in there. They're going to be organized webinars and just adding power, just showing people how to add power to what they're doing. We're going to go not only into Google, but showing them how to push into other places in the web, or how to pull from other places in the web, and then just closing everything within a loop, so that you just keep pushing power back and forth, and just make Google love Google. We've proven it time and again that Google loves Google. We have additional properties that we're going to get into. People are asking us, okay, how do we get things indexed? We're going to show you a really simple and powerful and effective way to get everything indexed. More do follow links out of Google, if you can believe it. I mean, it's just one thing after another. We are not pushing out the same garbage as other people do, right? It's not garbage, first of all. We could have just repackaged, re-released, and it's as powerful as ever. What we actually did is we spent 6 months in the lab working and looking and exploring and just seeing, you know how I do it. Blunt force trauma. Give me a jackhammer. I don't need a little hammer. No, give me a jackhammer.
You know, hang on. That's a great. Somebody go buy up that BFT SEO domain. BFTSEO.com. Blunt force trauma SEO.
I've been getting Christian to take his time to design the RYS picture for the new SERP space, because I want to get a certain effect out of it. So hopefully that gets done right.
Cool.
And so if you can believe it, well, you don't have to believe me. We have the testimonials, and this is what I want people to know. You actually get to meet the people that are in the videos. They're in RYS Academy. They're going to be in RYS Academy Reloaded. And you get to meet all of these people in the videos that are telling you this shit works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we've got a lot of really
that's powerful.
We've got a lot of really good video testimonials, guys, and you're going to be getting anybody subscribed to our email, any one of our lists really is going to be getting notices over the next week or so, within the next 2 weeks before we launch, that we're going to send out some video clips via email that you guys can check out, some testimonials and some pre-launch stuff and that kind of stuff. So make sure you're paying attention to that if you're interested at all. I think you're going to be quite surprised with how awesome this is going to be, as if the first one wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? So, all right, cool. Well, thanks, Marco. Did you have anything else to add?
No. Rank your shit.
Okay, guys, I posted on the event page already just a couple short announcements for those that are new to Semantic Mastery. One of the best ways to get started with us is to check out our battle plan SEO blueprint. So that you can get that at battleplan.semanticmastery.com. Again, the link is on the page, the event page now. I just posted it a moment ago, so it should be somewhat close to the video itself. And use the coupon code Attention Soldier to save $75. Okay, that's kind of like really the best place to start. Also, you can find done for you services and more at SERPspace, which is serpspace.com. You can create a free account there. If you're not aware of that already, go do it. And then you can check out all the different products and services that are available inside of there, the done for you stuff that we use all the time. And lastly, be sure to check out the knowledge base for frequently asked questions. We get a lot of questions that come up over and over and over again. And so oftentimes when we get one of those questions, again, we're just going to point you to our knowledge base anyways, which is at support.semanticmastery.com. Again, that's support.semanticmastery.com. So make sure that you check those out because a lot of the questions will probably be answered there. If you have something unique or specific, obviously, post it in one of the groups or here on Hump Day Hangout. We're happy to answer. One last thing is support is not a place to send your SEO questions. We've been getting a lot of that lately. Support is for account-related issues, billing issues, access issues, that kind of stuff. So guys, please refrain from sending your support or your SEO questions into support, because all we're going to do is direct you to the appropriate group or to Hump Day Hangouts. That's where you should be asking those types of questions, okay? So
I would also point people to our Semantic Mastery channel. There is just tons and tons and tons of information in there in a question answer format, right? Just like Hump Day Hangouts. So they can go and type in the question in the channel search, and they're likely to come up with quite a few videos that will answer the question. So if they don't get their question answered here, they can get it answered in the YouTube channel, or just come back, make sure you're on time, you're early next time posting the question if we don't get to it.
yeah, I mean, because we're at episode 145 today, guys, for Hump Day Hangouts. That's, well, it's at least a minimum of 145 hours of video. So, and it's we've got, we cut a lot of the actual individual questions and answers out, as well as we have timestamps in the actual, the full-length replays of Hump Day Hangouts. So when you use our channel search, it's really good about being able to, pull back, show videos in the search results for your query that have that query referenced in the video description somewhere or something like that. So definitely check it out. And last but not least, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done it yet. Please do. because that way you can be notified of updates. And, you know, we're always pumping out videos. I think we're at like, what, 1,800 videos on our channel now or something. It's ridiculous. So there's lots of stuff in there. All right. So anybody else, or can I get into questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. I'm going to grab the screen. Sweet. All right. So Adam posted a question that apparently was posted after the Hump Day Hangout last week on that event page. So I'm going to start with that one. Guys, as always, feel free to jump in at any moment. Adam says, or excuse me, whoever posted this said, added after Hump Day Hangout last week. Hello, I tried to get the plugin to set up an image that looks like a video. When clicked, it takes you to the website. Example, Google, local dentist, Carmel, or Carmel, I guess. Go to the videos, and the first placement when clicked takes you to the website. It looks like a video image, but it is an image that takes you to the website. I thought it was SEO Yoast, but have not had success with it. Yeah, you need a video sitemap plugin. Yoast has an add-on called Video SEO. So if you're using the WordPress SEO plugin by Yoast, there is an add-on. It's rather expensive. You know, I mean, it depends. I think a single site license is like $69 or something like that. It's really expensive if you're going to use it on multiple sites, because you got to buy, you know, a license for that, like a 10 site license or something, and that can get rather expensive. But if you're just doing it for one site and that's something that you want to have, I know that's one plugin that'll do it. There are probably other plugins that do that, but I'm not sure which ones they are, because the only one I've ever used for that was the Video SEO add-on for the WordPress SEO plugin. Does anybody else know of any other way? I mean, you can do, I think you can manually mark it up if you use structured data properly, and it should still show a thumbnail image, but I'm not 100% sure because I haven't tested that in a while. Are you guys aware of any other solutions?
Not that I know of, Bradley. Not off the top of my head. Like, yeah, that would be the better solution. I've been using that for a while now. Whenever I need that to happen, you know. But not off the top of my head. Let me go back and see if I can find anything, and I'll post it on the event page. Anything else?
This is the one that right here, Video SEO for WordPress plugin. And let's see, buy Video SEO. So one site, yeah, $69. This is where it gets expensive. Up to 5 sites, $300. Like, that's what I was saying. It gets rather expensive if you plan on using it on a bunch of sites. But if you're only managing one site that is critical, and by the way, guys, if you're doing this for client stuff, you pass that cost off to the client, right? You tell them, hey, this is why we need, or this is why we should be using this, and it's going to cost this much. And then obviously you should also bill them for setup and installation and setup, right? But definitely pass that cost off. But there you go. That's the one that I've always used, and this is what it looks like in the search results. Okay? The same thing. When somebody clicks on that, it's going to take them to the page on the website where that video is instead of to YouTube. All right? Cool. Let's move on. Next one. Well, here's one of our guests. I'm gonna butcher his name if I try. So, but he's been coming frequently recently. So thank you. You're always welcome. Can we verify 2 Google My Business listings in the same location by putting the same address and phone number on the listing, but changing the name to you better be able to rank for another keyword? I wouldn't do that. For example, let's say client's current listing is Plumber Bronx, which he is ranking well for, but he also does gutter cleaning. So can't we send same location with all same info and just put name gutter cleaning Bronx? Thanks. You know, you may be able to get away with it, but I don't know how long that would last. And it's likely that you would end up getting, you know, like the listings terminated for spam, especially because somebody else reports you, which is very likely to happen. So I personally, I wouldn't do that. What I would do is just go set up another address, you know, just set up another address, get a unique phone number, a unique web address. I mean, you know, you could even set up, and when I say by unique web address, you could even use the same domain as what the original Google My Business listing is. Just set up a separate page and use the specific page as the website address, right? That's unique. So in other words, typically for Google My Business listings, people, when they list their website, they're going to use their home page URL. Usually that's the case. It's not always the case, but usually the case. So my point is, you can have like, let's say gutter cleaning is a service that this same company provides. Well, you could have a gutter cleaning page on the site. So let's say it's domain.com/gutter cleaning. You could use that now as the landing page URL, or the, you know, the website connected to the Google My Business profile. That's a unique URL, right? It's a unique URL because it's not the same as the homepage. It's not just domain.com. It's domain.com/gutter cleaning. So that counts as being unique. Get a unique phone number, which could just be a tracking number, right? A virtual phone number. There's a dime a dozen out there. There's plenty of sources you can get those from. And then set up a separate physical address, right? Which you can do using the post office still. It still works. And you can do that. And that way you have a unique name, unique address, and unique phone number, as well as a unique web address. And those three things, that would give you the ability to do this without having to worry about getting it shut down for spam. Any comments, guys?
That sums it up perfectly.
All right. Columbia, what's up, Columbia? She is a diehard attendee of Hump Day Hangouts and always asking lots of questions. So awesome. Thanks for being here again, Columbia. She says, I have received a call from a friend who wants leads for remodeling. Hey, you're a woman after my own heart. That's exactly the business I'm in at the moment. He is a master craftsman, but has a poor website and no visibility. He's working for way under market value in most cases. He wants to do a 3-month project with me to see what can be done with some good marketing. He would like to see few quality leads during the initial 90 days and hopefully close 1 to 2 of them. I have no lead gen site in this niche. I'm inclined to set it up as a lead gen site at first and then repair his website and link some things to it later on. Is this the best way to set things up from the beginning? How would you structure this offer? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with what I found with, because I'm in the same niche at the moment, Columbia, and I found that, you know, the leads they don't flood like tree service niche. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows I do a lot of tree service work, and right now is the busy season for us. So, I mean, we get absolutely hammered with calls. I mean, literally dozens and dozens of calls per week. It's insane. But, you know, the remodeling stuff that I've been doing, the leads are a lot fewer in between. Like they're not as, you don't get nearly as many leads, but the leads are such high value. Think about it. You know, a typical kitchen remodel job costs what? You know, this is just like a median, like a kind of even on the lower end kitchen remodel job costs about 20K, right? 20 to 30K, easy. I mean, and again, that's kind of on the lower end of a good kitchen remodel. So those leads don't come in all that often, but when they do, boy, are they valuable to the contractor. So that's my point. Like, you know, you can set up a lead gen site. That's fine. Just don't be expected to generate a whole lot of leads. Now, again, it's going to depend on the area, search volume, that kind of stuff. Certainly, there are areas that are going to have more leads come in than others. But, yeah, I mean, that's something that you could do. What I would recommend doing, and I've said this many times before, Columbia, and this is the way that I do, especially anytime I am approaching a new niche, something that I'm unfamiliar with, is set up an AdWords campaign. Because you can get the data from what type of keywords and actual search queries people are searching for and what's generating clicks, and then you know, to your website and that kind of stuff. You can get an idea for what type of traffic volume. Even if all you do, let's say that you just set up like $200 in traffic, you pay for $200 worth of clicks through AdWords. If you should have a pretty good idea at that point, considering clicks are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of between $10 to $25, really depending on the area and how competitive it is, how many other advertisers are competing for the same keywords, but they're going to run somewhere in the neighborhood of like between $10 to $25. That's about right for remodeling type clicks, keyword clicks. But my point is if you were to spend, you know, $250 on traffic, then you should have enough data at that point to be able to know which keywords you want to push for SEO. If that's what your main your primary method for generating leads is going to be is from SEO, then I would recommend that you start off with the AdWords stuff just to identify your best keywords, what type of search queries people are actually typing that are clicking through to the site. And then from there, you can build out your SEO campaign. And you can have an idea of like the type of volume that the contractor can expect. Once you have that, then you can really structure an offer that's going to benefit the both of you. So it's a win-win situation. Lead gen is obviously a great way to do it, but also if you're going to be optimizing and working on the client site, my suggestion with that is if he's got a domain that has had anything like negative happen to it, like it's got very poor SEO, on-page is stuff you can fix, but off-page SEO, if it's got any like really bad links, stuff like that, you may want to go with just a whole new domain name altogether. you know, a new domain altogether and start fresh, especially if you've got to like rebuild the whole site. However, if the off page is just non-existent, in other words, it's not bad, it's just not there, then you can just use the same domain and just start repairing the on-page stuff first, and then start setting up your proper off-page campaigns as well. But that would be my recommendation. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was going to add that if the website sucks, and you know it sucks, it's going to be hard getting leads from that, then just don't bother with it. Don't bother with your own, building your own lead gen site. You could do everything from within his Google My Business. My Business. Verify the entity. Make sure that you get that pin from Google. Make sure that you get him on the map. Then do everything you can to push that map into the 3-pack, because I think that's where your leads will be coming from. You can do that. I mean, you still do the AdWords. You still do the test to see what the good keywords are that you want to target. But while you're doing that, you can still be solidifying your entity, making it as tight as possible. Hopefully you're as close to city center as possible. If not, you know how to do the post office hack, where you can go to the post office and get a street address and just solidify the entity. You can post from within the entity. You can do coupons, you can do offers, you can do events, you can do millions of things. I wish you were an RYS Academy so I could give you more, but I mean, that's where it starts. You set up the entity, then you push a stack at the map, at that verified listing, and watch happy things happen to your website as it pushes up into the 3-pack.
Yeah, and I haven't tested, but you know, there's the inside Google My Business dashboard now. There's the website function, which you can create a website from within Google My Business. Now, I haven't started testing that yet, but you know, again, like Marco said, you don't even have to worry about building out a lead gen site on a domain. If that's the case, you could just really start optimizing his Google My Business listing, as well as verify the entity and do some of the things that Marco just mentioned, and start to get results that way. But again, I still recommend starting with AdWords, only because, Columbia, you don't want to spend a ton of time doing SEO work and not not knowing which keywords are going to give you the best results and that kind of stuff, you know. So that's why I recommend starting with that.
We're in there working with all that good stuff inside Google My Business, and it will be part of RYS Reloaded, since it's a Google property.
Yep. So try that and let me know. I can tell you one of the things that's working really well. You know, I've talked about this a lot lately, but you know, press releases stuff is working really well and generating you know, some media buzz for the company. It seems to be working really, really well for that niche, because that's something that I'm actually doing right now and it works well. So. Okay, he's up again. He says, last week you mentioned that clients can set up a review generating campaign. What is this and how can we do it? Well, there's a number of apps out there, services that you can subscribe to that will, you know, help, you know, with that kind of stuff. So basically outreach, and they're like review collecting apps that will, you know, that can be installed on phones and all different, you know, on mobile devices and all different kinds of stuff. But you know, a very simple way to get started, which is the way that I would recommend doing it. And this is something that I just recently started doing with my clients, because these plugins are awesome. But this is called richplugins.com. Again, richplugins.com. Somebody wants to drop the link on the event page for these guys. This is not an affiliate link. I need to get one probably, because I keep promoting these people. But they've got these 3 plugins. Was somebody going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to drop the link.
Okay, thanks.
But yeah.
So these 3 plugins are, you know, I started playing with the free ones, but I just bought, well, I had one of my clients buy the premium versions of all 3 of these the other day. And I've actually got time on Fridays scheduled to install them and start configuring them. But the one that I originally started with was this Google Reviews plugin. And what's cool about it is now the free plugin is very, very limited. They'll give you a free one just so you can see, and it looks really cool. Like you can set up carousels and all this other stuff like you see in here. But the free version doesn't give you very many options. All the options are available in the plugin. In the free version, you just can't do anything with them. They're grayed out, so to speak. But the pricing is really good for these. If you take a look at the pricing here, you can buy all 3 for a single site license for $89, which is a really, really good price. Again, this is what you pass on to the client. You don't pay for this yourself, unless it's for a lead gen site that you own, if that makes sense. But if you're doing client work, you pass this off to the client, you get all three. And this uses, what's cool about it is it will import because it connects via API. So it will import any Google Maps reviews, Yelp, and Facebook reviews. And it marks them up with structured data. So you get the rich snippets and everything else. It does it all 100% automatically. And then what's really cool is it's even got these review buttons that can be clicked on right from the customer or the client site, right from the website, and it pulls up the box from either Google, Yelp, or Facebook where you can leave a review. So they don't even have to go off site to leave a review. So one of the best things that you can do with this, and a very simple way to get this set up, is install these plugins and then do an email outreach campaign to the existing customer database. So most businesses should have a customer database. If they don't, well, that's something else that you can do for them, is help them to start setting that up and developing it, building a customer database, because it's something that they should be doing. Guys, the easiest sale to make is to an existing customer, right? The hardest customer to acquire is a new customer. When you already have a customer base, or a business has a customer base, if they're not utilizing that, what I call shaking the bushes, right? When you have a customer base and you've got a new product or a new service, or you're looking to you're soliciting for some reviews, or you've got a new special or a sale or something, a new announcement, anything like that, you send them a notice out to your customers to tell them to go check out the offer or whatever it is. And you'll get business from that, or the clients will get additional business. They'll sell more products. They'll get more reviews. And it doesn't have to be via email. I mean, obviously I recommend that way because it's the easiest, but it can also be through direct mail. It could also be through social media. It could be through a number of different ways that you make contact. And so what I recommend doing is setting up, and this is just a very simple way to do it that doesn't have a monthly subscription fee, if that makes sense. So that's just install these plugins, and then even if you only want one of them to start with, whatever, and then do an outreach campaign to existing customers. And then also, if they don't have a customer database, help them to set it up, and then going forward, make it a part of their sales process, or their delivery process. Really, whenever they deliver the product or service to the customer, then that's when they should ask for the review, and make it easy for the customer to leave the review, or else they won't do it. Even if you make it really easy for the customer to leave a review, only about 1 or 2 out of 10 are going to do it. So you don't want to place any speed bumps or hurdles in between you asking for the review and them placing the review. And if they've got to go, find the Google listing or the Facebook page and stuff, all of that makes it a little bit, less likely for them to leave one. Whereas if you have it to where you send them the link directly to, and especially if it's to the website that they've already been visiting, then they'll be familiar with it. And all they got to do is click on a button on the website and leave a review. That makes sense. So anyway, check that out. It's a good strategy. It works really, really well. One of the things I love about these plugins is that they inject relevant content right onto the site. It's 100% automated. And the one client that we're putting this on, that I'm going to work on Friday, he's got like, 280 Google reviews. He's got like 160 some Yelp reviews. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's insane. And I told him, I said, we could probably stop your blogging once we install these plugins, because he gets so many damn reviews. This would cover the content marketing essentially. I got to figure out a way to syndicate reviews. That might work. So anyways, there you go. Okay, Wong's up. It's been a while since he's posted a question. He says, "Hi Bradley, I just got hired by a real estate company as their in-house SEO specialist. They will be paying me a fixed salary and bear all external costs for SEO. Their website is HTML, so I can't IFTTT for them because I can't set up RSS feed. So I'm going to use PBN strategy. Okay, I want to buy PBN from SerpSpace," which, by the way, even an HTML site can have a feed, right? Roman?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, you'll have to look into it, but it definitely can.
Yeah, so it might be something you want to look into. I know I had a client that had a really big HTML site, and we had to get his programmer to create something, but he did something to where we actually had a feed that we could use to syndicate his content. I don't know how
you
yet.
look into XML, setting up like an XML page or something along those lines, but it definitely can be done.
Yeah. So he says, I want to buy a PBN from SurfSpace, but my boss requests me to send my domain of my PBN first before buying. They just want to make sure that the name of the domain is clean, means that they want the domain name of the PBN as rebrandable and does not have a keyword in the domain. So I was wondering if somehow the name, if the domain is not acceptable. I was wondering if somehow the name, if the domain is not acceptable, can I register the domain, give it back to you guys in exchange for another domain? Well, that would be a question that, Roman, you could maybe answer that, but that's actually like a support type question that should be directed to SurfSpace. But what do you think, Roman?
For the most part, yes. So the PBN process in SurfSpace, honestly, I really don't mean to kind of toot our own horn here, but you're not going to find better PBN domains out there of people.
I second that.
Like we do.
I second what Roman is saying. I did some mystery shopping for the PBN's domain that SurfSpace is selling, and they're super, super solid. And I second what Roman is saying. You won't find anything better out there.
In terms of the, how do I explain this? In terms of the domain names themselves, message our live support and reach out to me directly with that, and I can answer some of your questions. I don't know why your boss is making decisions as far as the specifics of your SEO stuff is concerned. That does scare me a little bit, but we can certainly work with you if you want nothing but branded domains in a particular niche. I have no problem being able to deliver that. And awesome. I don't think you're actually going to be able to find that anywhere else where I can say definitively, yes, that I can actually deliver that.
That's awesome, man. You know, I stopped building PBNs, but you just like made me want to start doing it again. So.
Oh, they're still just as effective. It's
just,
I
know I just got tired of doing it. I got tired of dealing with hosting issues and all that other shit, you know. So
yeah, and hackers. Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been like exclusively doing all my off-page strategy with 2 methods right now. For the last like 3 months, I've been using 2 methods only for off-page SEO. Drive stacks, so RYS Academy method, and press releases. And like I haven't had to touch any other sort of backlink in the last 3 months, and I'm ranking stuff everywhere. So anyways.
That's awesome.
Ivan's up. He says, I'm sorry, somebody said
cut in, yeah. Because we're going to show people how to do their own PBNs in RYS Academy using Google, of course.
There you go. So if you got to go, you know, put a second mortgage on your house to buy RYS Reloaded, do it. We could probably find you a good mortgage broker if you need one. So Ivan says, hey guys, I'm seeing AdWords ads inside the 3-pack listing for a search term. Have you seen this? If so, how can you achieve that? Yes, Ivan, it's awesome. It's really simple to do. All you have to do is have your maps listing associated with it. So it's the local extension, the location extension inside of AdWords. So you just need to have a Google My Business verified listing. It did well. I don't know if it needs to be verified now. It didn't used to be. However, I know that Google My Business listings now won't show up in Google at all, and in search, in Google search, unless they're verified. They won't publish the listings anymore. Just a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, excuse me, I don't know how long ago this change occurred, but just a couple of months ago, you could create a Google My Business page, so you know, maps listing, and it would be published, but it wouldn't be verified until you got the postcard, which means it could still show in search results. It just wouldn't have that verified check mark next to it. Now, and again, I don't know how recently this change has been made, but now when you set up a Google My Business page, it won't publish until it's been verified. However, there was, and I kind of stumbled on this on accident with AdWords when I was doing the local Kingpin training. I went and set up a new site and a new location, you know, went and got a PO box, all that stuff. And it was a, you know, like an hour and a half drive to go get the postcard. So I was kind of dragging my feet on getting the postcard, but I had already set up the Google My Business listing. So in AdWords, I went ahead and I just, you know, added the location extension to that ad. I just said, well, fuck, you know, screw it. I'll try it and see what happens. And sure enough, my location extension, even though it was an unverified maps listing, started showing in my ad. And that's all it takes, guys. If you have your location extension connected to your AdWords account, or you're using a location extension, excuse me, in the ad, and you're the top bidder, you can show up in maps, period. That's all it takes. You just got to be, you got to be the top. Well, it doesn't necessarily be the top bidder. You just got to be the #1 position in AdWords, which doesn't mean you're the top bidder. It means you've got the best quality score, right? And so it's very simple, Ivan. I mean, there's no trick to it. It's just make sure that you got a location extension. Again, I found out that you could turn the location extension on without the Google My Business listing even being verified, but that may have changed now that listings aren't published until they're verified. I don't know. I haven't tested that. But my point is, it's very simple. As soon as you get the location extension added and approved for your ad, and if you become the top bidder, then your listing will show in the maps results. I had just started seeing them in the expanded maps. So in other words, at the bottom where it says see more results, you click that, and then when the full maps page expanded or opened up, the ad would be in the first position. But I, like you, Ivan, have noticed in my own local market that I'm starting to see more and more ads show up in the 3-pack in the universal search results as well. And all it takes is having a location extension and having and being the top positioned ad. Okay, and I'm actually, guys, seeing, I'm sure a lot of you are seeing this too, but in the expanded map section now, so when you click to see more results, I'm now starting to see 2 ads in at the top of the maps instead of just 1. So Google's going to continue, guys, pushing organic down. So that's why I think it's important, personally for local stuff to know how to set up and manage AdWords campaigns. I think it's really important. Okay, Mohammed's up. He says, hey guys, I got done with the Rank Feeder webinar and Maps SEO, and I'm about to start on the Twitter to G+ applet mentioned in July Syndication Academy update webinar. Both involve making a lot of posts on the G+ page. Is that all okay? I know from a user perspective, it doesn't matter since no one uses G+, but does Google see anything fishy? As far as I've seen, Mohammed, at this point, no. I haven't had any issues with it at all. I've got, in fact, the test that I showed in the webinars, that's just running like crazy. I've got both the Rank Feeder feed populating or publishing posts automatically to the Google Plus page, as well as the Twitter trigger that I pointed out in the Syndication Academy update webinar. And so I've got it just, I mean, sometimes there's days where I'm getting 15, 20 posts on the Google Plus page, but they're all relevant in some way or another. They're either topically relevant or they're geographically relevant. So it's just feeding relevancy in there, and it's like news updates. So it's, to me, I haven't had any problems whatsoever. And it's working really well. Anybody got a comment on that?
I agree with you, Bradley. I second what you say.
Awesome. All right. So second question. He says, one of my SEO clients is in the real estate niche. It's extremely competitive. Yes, real estate is. I find it not worth being in personally myself. But anyways, it's extremely competitive, and I've used a lot of SM services and training, stacks, press releases, etc. We also have a blog. We also have to blog a few times a week. Me with curation and him with an article. Okay, this client is great because he knows his industry and likes to write. With the help of PSP for keywords and a tier 1 network, we've managed to get some page 1 articles so far. That's great. My question is, what more can I do to improve the blog? Is a tier 1 network enough, and all we got to do is keep blogging? Well, that's going to help. Now, what I've found recently that's been working better for as far as the content marketing thing is, guys, in really competitive niches, the content marketing is really important. It's super important. And what I found is to make sure that you've got a good silo structure and that you continue to add to a particular keyword theme within a silo. So not just, hammer the same like primary keywords over and over again within that silo, because that really doesn't help the silo at all. In fact, it's almost like a spam signal. What you want to do is try to widen your theme a bit, but make it still relevant. And so for real estate, like I'm not actually in the real estate niche for marketing, so I'm not sure like how I would actually silo out a site and that kind of stuff. But you could talk about like, I'm sure there would be like, homes for sale and also home buyers, another section on the site for home buyers. And let's just use the home buyers one, for example. You could have a silo on there for buyers, right? And then you could have, stuff about what to look for in homes, how to hire property inspectors, and you know, how to know whether you've got a good property inspector, what to look for in mortgage loans, you know, what type of home warranties and appliance warranties, and you know, things like that. What type of title issues could come up when the titles, you know, for the settlement process, when the transfer of title happens, and what they call chain of title and all that kind of stuff, right? There's so many different things that you could talk about and blog about that could really expand on that home buyer silo, to where you're not just talking about like you don't just hammer keywords over and over again about like, you know, buy a home in Atlanta, Georgia, or what, or a specific neighborhood or whatever. I don't know if that's making sense, but my point is to try to expand the theme within a silo to where it's logical. And I found that, and I think this has to do mainly with RankBrain and Google also becoming, you know, further more and more advanced in the semantic web, that they're starting to stack ideas to where it's more of a it's not such a narrow keyword targeted keyword theme that you have to hammer away at. Again, I think doing that is actually kind of a negative signal right now. I think it's better to broaden it up a bit, because they can understand the concept or the theme of that silo, of that category, that topic. Does that make sense? Does anybody else have a better way of explaining that?
It's tough because it's so many concepts that are stacked on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
My advice with this is just really pay attention to your internal linking with this kind of stuff. As you're putting up blog posts, it gives you the opportunity to do interlinking on your site. It gives you the opportunity to link to another page and, you know, say something about that page. So as long as you keep a logical theme with that interlinking, that's what's really important. And so, and that goes back to the silo concept. The whole idea of a silo is that everything is nice and tightly themed. So your interlinking should reflect that. So whenever you make a post, that's an opportunity for you to boost up other pages. And I think that's the approach that you should take with that.
Yeah, and the other part of that is not to hammer we know when you're blogging, guys, especially for a site like real estate, where it is very, very competitive. And I know that to be true because I've done SEO work in the real estate industry in the past, and I stopped doing it because it's just so damn competitive. And what's weird is realtors don't like to spend money on digital marketing. I don't understand. They want to put their face on everything, right? They want to their stupid business cards, their stupid signs, their stupid billboards. They want to put their face on everything. But as soon as you talk about effective digital marketing, their wallets close. Like, okay, fine, go buy another business card with your face on it. Whatever. If that's working for you. But my point is with the internal linking, you don't want to always link to the same page. Like, even though you think about putting supporting articles, supporting posts in a silo, you think it's always best to just link up to the top level category page. Well, you should be linking the top level category page, but also be linking to you know, articles, what we call parallel articles, right? So articles within the same silo. Link to subcategories if you're using subcategories as well. Point is to do what Roman just said, an internal linking, to where you're not always just hammering away at the same page, because that looks really unnatural. Use your blog posts to link to other blog posts, and so that you're really building the theme from the bottom up instead of from the top down. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, all right, real quick, and I can't believe how quick the time has run by on this webinar already. Seems like we just started. Did BB ever figure out what happened to his Dribble account? Yeah, I put too many links too fast in the little description area, and so they terminated it for spam. I went back in and set up another account for that same persona, but using a different registration email. And I just waited. I put a bio in, but not with the links, and I just waited for about 48 hours, and then I went back and then edited in just one link, one primary link in the bio area. And that account's still live now. It was just a matter of, I don't know if there's some sort of manual review process for new accounts, probably. And they saw that it was like basically an empty account that just had a bunch of links in the profile, and so they terminated. And guys, that's just best practice to not go spam a new account with all these links right away. To, you know, build it out, put some content on it, and give it a few days to season or a few weeks, whatever, before you start adding profile links and stuff. Make it look like a real site instead of just something for SEO. When I set that up for the Syndication Academy webinar, I had literally created it earlier that day, you know, a couple hours ahead of the webinar, and I'd, you know, put the links in there because I wanted to show the live site during the webinar, and that's what got it terminated. So, you know, if you take some time, I didn't have time that day to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I created that the same day. So my point is just give it some time and then go back and edit it and put in the links then. Raymond says, after using the post office address for verification and local business listing, do you renew the post office address or let it expire? All right, Raymond, I always renew them, and it sucks because I've got so many of them now, and it kind of pisses me off because like I just got hit today again with another 1-year renewal for another one. So I get notifications all the time now for, hey, you just got billed again for another PO box. I've only had it happen twice in my career in 7 years where I've had a Google require a re-verification of the physical address via postcard. I've had Google call on many of my listings and ask questions in order for them to stay verified. But and I use a call center, so I just send. I know what questions Google asks, so I give the call center the answers. You know, the questions plus the answers, so that in case Google calls, they can handle it. Now I don't even have to handle it. But twice in my career, I've had Google require a re-verification via postcard. And in one of those instances, I had canceled the PO box. Well, it wasn't a PO box. It was a UPS box at that time. And I canceled it because it was like $34 a month for that stupid box. And I said, I'm not paying for that. So I lost that listing, which really sucked because I wasn't able to pick it up, and I was ranking, and it was producing revenue. So from that point, on ever since then, I've always renewed the boxes, and I've had it happen one additional time, and fortunately I had the box, so I was able to get the card and re-verify it. Now again, it's only happened twice, but to me it's a small price to pay, especially PO boxes. Even in the metropolitan areas, they're still relatively inexpensive compared to like a lot of the other virtual mailboxes. So to me, it's a small price to pay to have insurance, to know that I can re-verify if required. Okay. So that's up to you. It's if you're willing to let it go. The problem is if you rank something in maps and it's producing revenue for you, then just figure that as an expense. It's a cost of doing business. But if you're willing to take the risk, it's unlikely that they're going to send another postcard for verification. But if they do, and you don't have that box and it's not available when you need it, then you're SOL, shit out of luck. All right, Amy's up. She says, on the blueprint, you had mentioned crowdsearch.me and had a video going over how to use it. I don't recommend it anymore, Amy. Sorry. That might be something we have to edit in the battle plan and do another update, Hernan. You might want to make a note of that, but we gotta resolve the issue on our end first, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yep, definitely. Okay. That's going on the 1.2 version, I think. We have some updates to do anyways. So that's going to be pushed to the new, well, to everyone actually that purchased the battle plan. So all the updates that we do for version 1.2, I think that over the next week or two, and we're gonna push them to everyone that has purchased, and everyone that is purchasing too will get those updates.
Yeah. And going through the rest of this question, I was reading it as Hernan was talking. And Amy, I feel your pain. I'm not going to read all through this, guys. You guys can read it. But the point is she's having issues with CrowdSearch, and I canceled my subscription. I had been with them for almost, in November of this year, it will have been 3 years that I've been paying for CrowdSearch, and I used it religiously. I was an advocate of it. We've endorsed it. We promoted it over the years, but within the last few months, the service has really started to become very, very spotty. Support has become very, very spotty. And I got really, really tired of sending in ticket after ticket after ticket, and then having to send in second and third tickets with like, what the fuck? How come nobody's answering me type stuff before I'd get stuff answered? You know what I mean? And so, and honestly, it was taking more time just trying to get things to work. Look, I'm not trying to badmouth the CrowdSearch service, because I was a huge fan of it for a long time, guys. But it's just, you know, sometimes there's diminishing returns, and you've got to like cut your losses and walk away. And right now, the last couple of months, it's been not working very well, and so I canceled my service. And so we're in the process of developing our own. More to come. Can't speak about it much at the moment, but it is coming, and hopefully sooner than later. I'm kicking you under the table, Roman.
Do you want me to say just a word or two on that?
Please.
On that topic?
Please.
Yeah. So it's, you know, at one point the service was really great, but I think what's happened is that the IPs, their pool of IPs has been flagged by Google, and as such, the effectiveness of CrowdSearch is not what it was. Google knows what IPs they're using, and they're basically dead weight at this point. I would imagine that you can still somewhat get an effect out of them, although it's going to be minimal.
Yeah.
As compared to what it used to be when they weren't burnt. So.
Yep, I agree. And so, I mean, what I've been doing, I had accrued about 400,000 credits because I was getting 50,000 credits a month. And and I was using damn near 50,000 a month for a long time. But then when I really stopped using it as much, they started to accrue, and I had about 400. I still think I got about 320 or 30,000 in my account, even though I stopped paying for it about 2 months ago. I still use it, but it's not nearly as effective. I've actually found some Fiverr traffic gigs. Look, I don't recommend this to a money site, guys, but there are some Fiverr traffic gigs that will send traffic from Google, Bing, Yahoo, Facebook, things like that to, and it's good for tier 1 stuff. So like if you want to send traffic, like I've been using those a lot recently for press releases, because that's how you get a press release to stick without even having to build links to it. You can build links too, don't get me wrong. But what I've been able to do with press releases recently is identify the top ranked press release for the keyword that I'm targeting, and then set a Fiverr gig to it that I might spend $15 on, and they'll send 1,000 visitors a day for 15 days, but it'll come from 2 or 3 different traffic sources and different browsers like mobiles and desktops and different devices. So you'll have Android, iOS, Windows Phone traffic, all that kind of stuff. And so it adds diversity, and I'll send them to a press release, and that gets the press release to stick on page 1 instead of dropping out of the search results or falling down in the search results like they typically do within a few days. I've been able to get some. I've got one that's been sitting on page 1 between the number 1 and number 4 position for my primary keyword since June 5th. And all I've done is send. I've done no link building to it. It's just been traffic gigs sent to it, and it's been sticking ever since. And so that's something I would recommend doing if you're trying to send traffic to tier 1 stuff. But as far as to your money site, I would not use a Fiverr traffic gig. Okay. All right. Another question from me says, "Are there any future drawbacks to managing clients' Facebook business pages through your own personal account?" No, that's what you should be doing. You should be an admin or a manager of your clients' Facebook pages through your own account. Is what I'm saying is they should own under one of their personal accounts, the owner or some employee, the Facebook page, and then you should be made an admin, right? An admin, so you can manage the page through your own personal Facebook account, right? You don't want to log into their Facebook account. That's not what because Facebook will lock the IP rather quickly, and it's a bitch to get back in. So I recommend that you always manage Facebook pages through your own account. You just got to be made an admin, which is very simple to do. Just go like the page and then call your client and say, "Hey, make me an admin. I just like the page," and you'll be able to do it. All right, guys, we got about 2 or 3 minutes left. Sorry we haven't got to everything yet, but we're gonna get through another 1 or 2, and it's got to be it. So, also, guys, we have Mastermind members. In case anybody's on that's on Mastermind, we have kind of an case study update webinar that starts in about 7 minutes. The event, I posted in the Mastermind community about it, so you can find the event page that way. And it's just a bunch of update stuff that I want to cover. So be aware of that.
Yeah, and if I can add something real quick about the Mastermind, now that you mention it, we're gonna be doing some heavy, I would say
remodeling.
Remodeling, facelifting, I would say, to the Mastermind, because we want to give you guys the best of the Vex experience possible. So we have a bunch of ideas, and we're gonna be implementing them for the next I would say couple of months. So I would say that there's no better time than joining the Mastermind than right now, because you're gonna see the before and the after of all the changes. Is gonna rock. So
yeah, we got a lot of really good things going on right now too. So all right, Ben says, "Hey, I'm still a little bit confused about Map right now. One of my clients is ranking top 2 for property services Malaysia, but they have not verified their business to Google My Business. Now they want to rank for property agent Malaysia and Maps, but they do not have any pages that is optimized for property agent Malaysia. Should I create a page optimized for property agent Malaysia and hammer links to that page and get it to the top of organic search, and then the map ranking will take care of itself?" Right? Not necessarily. I mean, there's a few things that you could do. Property agent Malaysia. What are they ranking for now? Property services. You know, I mean, that's something you could do is add a page. You should absolutely have it on the site, but it's not about just hammering that page with links on the site. In fact, well, in Malaysia, you can probably get away with that. Here, you couldn't. But my point is, yeah, you definitely want to have some content on the site for it. And you want to try to match categories too. I don't know what the property management categories are inside of Google My Business, but it's important to try to match categories as well if you can. To, you know, top level categories on in the GMB listing with pages or categories on your site if possible. That's something that you can do. But then again, something like if you want to rank for property agent as opposed to just property, what was the other one? Property services. I would just make sure that you have content on the site. It's probably going to require more than just a single page. You might want to do a page, but then make that a category and then add some blog posts that are talking about stuff that property agents do in Malaysia, for that matter, right? So you can talk about both the geography as well as the, you know, that's what I always call local relevancy or geographical relevancy, as well as looking at the, you know, the actual keyword, which is the topic, right? So you do kind of a mix of the two, and that should help you. I wouldn't recommend. In Malaysia, you could probably get away with just hammering a page with links, but here in the U.S., that's not the best approach. You're better off you know, producing more content. All right, I'm gonna answer one more from CJ Marketer, and then we got to wrap it up, guys. He says Google Sites run like a effing dog with 3 legs missing. I've been trying to use it over the past 2 weeks on different PCs, running Windows 7 on different browsers, and even in Linux, both from home and the office where I work. It crashes frequently, and I often have to reload pages. Anyone else having this issue? I absolutely hate using it, and we'll have to rely on server space services to set shit up, which I guess is good for you guys, eh? Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's almost as if you're accusing us of making Google Sites difficult so that you have to buy them through server space, which that is certainly not the case. I wish we had that kind of power over Google.
Right. That leverage, that would be good though.
But you know, I haven't been into Google Sites building any Google Sites for a while, but I know Marco and all his team that in the lab have been. Marco, have you been experiencing these issues?
No, not at all. And you know that our VAs are like 99% in the Philippines, and their internet speed isn't the best, and you know they haven't reported any issues with it. So I don't know. Maybe it's time to talk to your hang on a second. Maybe it's time to talk to your internet service provider, CJ, and find out what kind of speed you're really getting. Do a ping test, a speed test, especially it's not so much you're down as you're up that could affect this if you're trying to work with it. So talk to your ISP. They may be throttling you, and they often do that. So if that doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you, but I know people that have gone to Starbucks to do their work. Great internet.
Yeah, I would definitely also take a look at and see if maybe your computers are infected, because if you're doing this from 2 different locations and you're having the same problem, maybe you've got some kind of virus that's attached itself to a USB stick that you're carrying to and from work. Take a look at all your stuff and make sure that everything's running properly on that end as well. So, because there's some nasty stuff out there that will hijack your internet connection and make it look make it look slow.
Yeah. Just real quick, Dan, I see your questions, man. I'd love to answer them. Dan, aren't you in the mastermind? If so, we've got the update webinar in about, well, 1 minute. I'm going to be late, apparently. But you can post there because we can get to a couple questions over there if you'd like. Also, we have, you know, that you can post in the mastermind as well. If not, then just post in one of the relevant groups or save it for next week, because I would like to help you out with this a little bit. I think I know what you're talking about here. But anyways, all right, guys, thanks for everybody for being here. Again, mastermind members, we'll see you in a few minutes if you're available. Otherwise, we'll see everybody next week, I guess, right? Okay.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.